Hey everybody, Zach here at eTrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at the Hollywood Racks RV Rider on our 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is going to be a really good rack if you're looking to carry a lot of different bikes, and especially if you're going to be using a motorhome or a fifth wheel, and then you have, you're wanting to carry it on your Jeep or another vehicle in the family whenever you're not traveling. So this is a very versatile rack. So we get all of those capabilities when we're talking about campers and fifth wheels. We can't pull it on bumper pull campers, but we're going to just focus on the Jeep Grand Cherokee here today. With this being a versatile rack, you can see I have an electric mountain bike on here today. So this is a really good capacity, 80 pounds. That is a significant amount of weight. And this one is not going to come anywhere near that 80 pounds. I think this one's maybe in the 50s. And you can notice we took the battery off. It's a good idea to take the battery off your electric bikes whenever you're traveling. It's going to save you weight, but it's also going to save some of the stress of going down the road. Now, another thing that's nice about this is it fits fat tires. Right out of the box, we're going to get these nice wide cradles. And you can see we just have that standard mountain bike there, but we can also fit a fat tire bike or even down to just a narrow road bike. So a lot of different bikes fit on this. And one of the problems with some of those electric bikes, a lot of them have a step-through design, a lot of them have fenders. Those are fairly challenging to find a bike rack that fits a high capacity and fits a bike with fenders or a step-through design. So what's nice about this is Hollywood Racks came up with this design where you can see on this one we have a lot of flexibility with where this hooks. So we can get it on the down tube, we can get it on the top tube here, or the seat post, I'm sorry, not the down tube, or the top tube here. So we can get that all the way around there, however we need to connect it. And then I'm going to just hold on to the bike and show you here. This knob loosens up, and this just kind of sandwiches closed and then opens up. So we got good grip there, and then just tighten it back down whenever we get it however tight we're looking for. And then it comes with this little hook and loop strap here that goes around it, and this isn't doing a whole lot. I'm not 100% sure why this is even on there. It's a nice little extra piece. I think it's a nice little bit if you are taking the bike off. Adds a little bit of resistance there, so if for some reason you take your hands off your bike, it's going to kind of hold it in place. But one thing that's nice about bike racks like this is that we can tilt them away. So a lot of RV bike racks, to withstand that weight and all that movement that's at the back of them, they structure them up real well. You lose some of the features that a lot of passenger vehicle bike racks have. This one still has one of the best features of tilting away. So with a heavy bike, and especially if we had a second one on there, it is a little bit challenging, but you can do it. So I'm going to keep one hand on here. I'm going to lift slightly up and pull this pin right here. And then I'm going to take this knob and take this out. So you can kind of go about two ways. I'm going to actually put that back in. Probably a good idea to leave that one in and take this knob off first. That's probably the safest way of doing it. Clip that back in. This takes a little bit of time to get this out. That's one thing. If you're looking for a bike rack that's just for the Jeep, if you have those very specific needs of needing a really heavy-duty electric bike rack or fat tire that has the fenders, has the step-through design, this is going to be a good option. But if you just have a basic bike or even just an electric bike down in that 50-pound range, there are easier-to-use options for just the Jeep. Something like the Kuat MV 2.0, if you don't have fenders, that has a good capacity of 60 pounds. You can see we can tilt that away. Don't know if we're going to get complete clearance here. Just barely missing those handlebars there. So if you had something that was a little bit wider, it's going to be fairly tight. But you can see here, I can get full access to my hatch, get some stuff out if we left stuff on. You stop at the gas station on the way home. You don't have to take your bikes all the way off. If you have two bikes on here, maybe a good idea to get a buddy to help you out. I'm going to put this up, get that pin in first, lift it up just a little bit to allow that through. It's going to take some of that pressure off, get this other bolt in place, then we can focus on taking this bike off. Now, when it comes to putting bikes on your bike rack, lifting these electric bikes up, they're pretty heavy. So if you're looking for something, that's going to help you out with loading them up, there are definitely options out there. This one's a little bit higher up, but something like the Thule electric bike rack, it has a built-in ramp, which is really nice. Has similar style design, doesn't have near the capacity. You can't put it on a fifth wheel, but it's still a really good option if you're looking for something to kind of help you get those loaded up. You can come down here, we're going to undo these straps. You can see how long those straps are. Those are going to fit around some fat bikes. Got a nice little rubber piece there to protect our wheels. I'm going to take this back one off as well. Then we can come up here. I'm going to leave that hook and loop strapped together. And we're going to loosen this up. Takes a little bit of time. You can see that sandwich is off. Get this hook and loop undone. We can get our bike out of the way. I'm going to get that way. These can sometimes be a hassle to get these out. There we go. Now I will say we do get a good amount of clearance there. Some electric bike racks, you would think that as heavy as those are, they'd make them sit out a little bit further so we can get some more space there, but that was a decent amount of room to get that there. We can get these cleaned up a little bit, just kind of get them tucked out of the way. So we were just talking about measurements. I'm going to give you a couple measurements real quick. I'm going to give you the closest point of the bike rack to the bumper here, which is probably going to be right back here. That's going to be 3 3/4 of an inch. Another one I'd like to give you though real quick is from the center of these wheel mounts to the bumper. Maybe give you an idea if that's going to be too close to get your bikes loaded up, if you've got something a little bit different than what we just installed or took off. And that is 13 inches from the back of our bumper to the center of this first cradle here. Now the distance added to the back of the vehicle is about 27 inches from the back of the bumper to right back here. If you're wanting to keep this on all the time, you can tilt down this arm. Got this knob here. Take that off, pull that pin out, tilt this down and out of the way. So once again, you can see just, a few extra steps. A lot of different bike racks, you just have to push a button to lower these down. This one takes a little bit more time because we have these bolts, but I think that gives us a little bit more strength behind it. So yeah, it's a little bit more inconvenient, but to get that high capacity, I think that this is something that is worth it. Get that put back in place. You can see we still have hatch access there. So if we're leaving this bike rack on all the time, all we'd have to do is tilt it down in this position to get groceries loaded up. I'm going to give you a ground clearance real quick before I fold this up. It's about 21 inches right back here, so get that rise in that platform there. So I think we got plenty of ground clearance on the Jeep today. Now we can tilt this up. It's going to be another knob here. So an electric bike rack that I like a lot, it doesn't have near the capacity of this, is the Swagman Current. I think it's a really easy to use bike rack. One problem I have with it though is how close it sits to the vehicle. So if your hitch sticks a little bit further out than what our Jeep does today, then it's going to be a good option for you. And you can see here, we are just barely making this work. So get this folded up all the way, tighten this down, so we don't want this moving around when we're going down the road. There we go. So you can see there it's got a little bit of movement, but we're not coming close to hitting the vehicle there. This part kind of hangs over the bumper. It's a little bit above it, but I'll give you that measurement because that's probably the closest point. And that is about 1.25 inches away. But like I said, it's right above the bumper, so I still think that's the closest point. Takes up a good amount of space here. Maybe not something you're wanting to leave on all the time, but if you're going on multiple rides in a week, it's still going to be a good option for you to keep it in this position. If we take a closer look down here at the hitch, we can see this only works with 2-inch hitches. We've got a nice anti-rattle bolt that comes with a lock here to secure this so bike rack doesn't go missing. Now it comes with or has an anti-rattle bolt that requires a 3/4 inch socket and wrench or a 19mm socket or wrench. I would definitely pick up the Performance Tools kit that we have available for that 3/4 inch socket. Makes it a lot easier to tighten this down whenever you're getting this anti-rattle bolt tightened down versus the wrench that comes with it. It's going to save you a ton of time. Just keep it in the vehicle. That way you don't lose it. But you can see moving the whole vehicle there. Really nice secure fit there in the hitch. So overall, it takes a few more steps to get it to move around, get in its different positions, but we're getting a lot of features out of this bike rack. Really high capacity, 80 pounds, a lot of different bikes we can carry it. If you've got a fifth wheel, you're pulling it with a truck, not the Jeep, or a motorhome, this is going to be a really good bike rack to get your electric bikes, your heavy fat bikes, any type of bike to get them to the trail or wherever you're looking to go to. But that's going to do it for our look at the Hollywood Racks RV Rider on our 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee.